All right. I'd like to make this quick. I hope I gotta go out and have some dinner. But I was checking out the YT drama unfold, and I could not help but notice um, until when so many of guys in Bill's hangout will stay on milk. I mean, um, so I made a comment saying sometimes I wonder when many of you will stay on milk, expecting some matured answers. And instead, I got a couple of reply. One is okay, the other one is like, huh? Um, I got a reply from Andy, and he did answer like a baby in Christ, saying we all put away our past differences and we move on and seek peace. Sounds all good, if it's possible. After all, seeking peace is always good. And then I look at the floor's reply, quote, you are an antichrist. I'm like, how peaceful. I mean, in this short reply from him, you can surely find that number one, he's not seeking any peace for sure. And number two, the moron doesn't even know what an antichrist is. According to 1 John and 2 John, it clearly defines what an antichrist is. An antichrist would be like Dwayne, who denies Christ being God manifest in the flesh. Of course, I don't deny God manifest in the flesh. Therefore, I'm not an antichrist. So, what makes this hateful young man named the floor so moronic and accusatory? And what makes others still on milk, lacking discernment between good and evil? I mean, one thing for sure, if you are still on milk, you will lack discernment. Hebrews 5:13 to 14. For everyone that uses milk is unskilful in the word of righteousness, for he is a babe. But strong meat belongeth to them that are of full age, even those who by reason of use have their senses exercised to discern both good and evil. So if you are a babe in Christ, you shall be unskillful in the word of righteousness, meaning you cannot really tell what's good and bad or evil in this case. After many years in faith, if you still cannot discern between good and evil, there is something wrong with you. I mean, there is something wrong with your walk in Christ. Only when you can consume strong meat can you actually discern between good and evil. Once you can discern between those two, good and evil, you could say you are of full age. And the more you consume the strong meat, the more discernment can you have. Now, there are many self-claiming quote-unquote Christians who still barely can use milk. These usually are stuck in the principles of the doctrines of Christ, doctrines of grace, once saved, always saved. Certainly, I'm not saying these principles of the doctrines of Christ are bad. However, if you haven't moved on onto perfection in Christ, there's something wrong with your walk in Christ, aka the discipleship. Perfection doesn't just come by itself, nor does it come by using milk only all the time. It comes from consuming the strong meat. Only when you are able to use the strong meat can you actually know what's what. Until then, If you remain like a babe, you will never know what is good and evil. You will think what's good as evil and evil as good. So check yourselves where you are in faith. Certainly good cannot mix with evil, nor evil with good. 2 Corinthians 6:14. This doesn't only apply to those who are going to get married or who are married. This also applies to believers, unbelievers. Be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. For what fellowship has righteousness with unrighteousness? And what communion has light with darkness? Light cannot mix with darkness, and there is no light in darkness. And these two certainly do not mix. Certainly, there cannot be any communion between light and darkness. And if you are still a babe in Christ, sucking on milk, still, you won't even know the difference. Anyway, thank you for listening. God bless you and have a good one. Bye for now.